Hey, Lawn Care Nation. So I recently had a viewer leave a comment during one of my lawn mowing live streams where I'm actually out on my client lawns while I'm mowing and can answer questions and comments live. And they stated that they are 53 years old, that they just started a lawn care business, but being the month of July, they are naturally having a hard time finding clients for that lawn care business at this time of year. So if you are in that position, whether you are in your older years, over 40 and starting a lawn care business, or if you're younger and starting a lawn care business, at this time of year especially, there is hope. This is my 20th season in my lawn care business, and I just turned 50. And I started actually in the month of August of 2005. That was my first first month as a lawn care, full-time lawn care business, a solo operator, going all in with no other job, no other income to speak of at that time. So there is hope, but of course, being summertime, it is naturally going to be slower. You're not going to have as many calls coming in, especially being a new business with no reputation to kind of ride on. Because if I were to start it all over again today from scratch, here's a couple of things that I would do, and some of my best advice to those of you that are in that similar situation, especially here sort of in the summer months. In the beginning, when you have a lot more time, you're just starting out, here's some things I would focus on right out of the gate, especially if it was summertime, is I would start off with some really good branding. This is something that I think will pay dividends, will cost you a little bit in the beginning, obviously to get signs and stuff, decals and things on your truck, uniforms and stuff like that. But I have seen the payback of this strategy of having that branding. It can be the thing if you've got a nice decal trailer, nice uniforms, a nice website, all that sort of stuff that all is all cohesive and works together. It can be that thing that makes you look like you're a business that's been around for a while, that you're established, that you're not just some chuck in a truck, so to speak, who's just starting out and may not be here tomorrow. So that's the first thing I would focus on, is get some really good branding. The second thing I would focus on is have a defined service area, and the smaller, the better. And here again is one of those reasons why. As a solo operator just starting out, you want to be able to get the most bang for your buck, so to speak. So if you're doing any advertising, things like that, concentrating on a smaller area is going to be less expensive than a larger area. As well as it's going to save a lot more time if you're driving in traffic and things like that. You're not wasting a lot of time in traffic. You can focus in on one area, be in one neighborhood. This also extends that branding. So I see a lot of times new businesses starting out and think, okay, well, I've got a job over here in this neighborhood, then I'm going to drive across town, maybe into another city even, and go work in there for a day. And the thing is that you're only in those areas for one day in this area, one day in that area. And usually people are working during the day and they're not really going to see your branding because you're hitting neighborhoods where people are at work and things like that. And you're going to have that be less effective. Where if you focus in on a smaller area, you're always in that area day after day after day. If people don't see you today, they're going to see you tomorrow because you may not be working on their street, but you might be working on a couple streets over as they're driving through the neighborhood, as they're going shopping, all that sort of stuff. Your branding is going to become more prominent. So as a small solo operator, it's a lot more effective for you and your branding to get across if you're focused in on a smaller area. Now, if you think about this, especially if you're in a city or something like that, like I am, it's, there's so many properties in even a smaller neighborhood that I could never even mow that many properties on my own. So there's no need to be traveling far distances and going across town and all that sort of stuff. Focus in on a smaller area. Now, the next thing I would do, you've got more time than you have work available to you when you're starting out. So try to do things that are effective. For me, that meant that, if I've got this nice branded trailer and all that sort of stuff, it just made more sense to me to be out in the community, out into those areas that I want to be working in, than having my trailer sitting in my driveway as I'm waiting for the phone to ring, waiting for work. So what I did was I just went out into the community, whether that meant dropping off flyers door to door and hitting those neighborhoods that I want to work in, just dropping off flyers, going door to door, because again, you have more time than you have the work at the moment. And anytime, especially on a nice sunny day, there'd always be people out, and there was great opportunities there to interact with people, to talk to people. And a lot of times, people are apprehensive with people coming up to their, up their driveway and things like that. And I would just explain, I'm just dropping off flyers. I started a new lawn care business in the area, and I just want to drop off a flyer. And you would get some pushback from people saying, "Oh, I don't need that. Save your flyer. Don't bother wasting a flyer on me," or that sort of thing. And I would kind of flip the script on them, and I would say, "Hey, that's great. I understand that you don't need this service and may not ever need a lawn care service, but do me a favor. Since I'm just starting out and I'm trying to really, get established in this neighborhood, just hold on to this flyer for me. And if you hear of anybody that needs lawn care or gardening work or anything like that in your social circles over the next year, then hand them my flyer. At least you've got it there handy, and it just gives me the opportunity to be one of the ones that they might call to do a quote." And the amount of times I've tried this and done this, and immediately people have said, "Don't waste your flyer on me," or sort of stuff. They hear that and they're like, "Okay, that's fair enough. Like, I'll hold on to your flyer. That's fine, right?" Because you're not putting pressure on them to sell services to them directly. So it immediately makes them more comfortable to accept that flyer. And the amount of times that I've done this and months later had that exact client or exact person who says, "Don't waste your flyer on me," actually turn around and phone me and ask me for a quote for something that popped up down the road is monumental. So try that as a strategy. Now, another thing that I learned over the years to kind of break the ice with people is to sell by not selling. Basically, what I would do is I would start to establish that know, like, and trust, right? Those are the three things needed for somebody to be able to take a chance on you. They have to know you, they have to like you, and they have to trust you. So the trust one is one that's going to take the longest and hardest to establish. Although you can start some of that trust building in the beginning just by talking to them and all that sort of stuff. But as you start to do work and things like that, that trust will start to get built up. The know you, that's the easiest one to do. As soon as you introduce yourself to somebody and and you talk to them for a little bit, they now know you. They know who you are and what you're about. The like takes a little bit more work to do, but it's actually not that difficult. And one of the keys I found with this sort of sales technique to get people to like you, again, is to sell by not selling. And what that meant was if I saw somebody out in their driveway or, whatever the case may be, I would just pick one item, whatever it was that I saw on their property. It could be a classic car in their driveway or garage. It could be a boat. It could be a dog, a kitten, whatever it was that I saw immediately in their or on their property. And I would just ask them about it. "Hey, is that a ski boat? Hey, is that a 1963 Corvette? Hey, is that a border collie?" So people like to talk about the stuff that they have, their hobbies, their interests. So it makes it really easy to open up that line of communication. If you're talking about their classic car, their speedboat, their pets, whatever the case may be, and that will lead into natural conversation where they start to, again, build on that trust, and they start to build on that like for you. They start to feel more comfortable around you, and they're more willing to then pass along that flyer because now they know you. They are friendly with you. They had a good discussion with you about their hobbies and interests. And if you can kind of spur that on to interests and stuff that you have. Say they have a boat and it's a fishing boat or whatever the case may be, and then you kind of chat about maybe areas you've gone fishing and things like that. And you can see how that conversation will evolve, and the next thing you know, you've spent 20 minutes talking to them, and now you are their guy for whatever the case may be for the future in terms of landscaping and all that sort of stuff. So not only will they then be more likely to hold on to that flyer, but they'll be more willing to pass it on to friends and family because they now have established a sort of relationship with you. They kind of know how friendly you are, have kind of built a bit of a friendship there, and they're also more willing to be able to refer you and even call you themselves when they need work in the future. Now, the third thing that I would try, especially here in the summer times, if you're just starting out your lawn care business, is to volunteer your services for free. Again, this kind of follows that whole, I'd rather have the truck out in those neighborhoods where I want to work than have it sitting in my driveway where nobody's going to see it. So I used to go and drive around those neighborhoods, and a lot of the areas that I live in, they'll have certain neighborhoods that have a bunch of smaller like cul-de-sacs and things into the neighborhood, but there's like a main entrance into that particular subdivision or whatever the case may be. Usually there'll be like the name of the subdivision in that entrance, or just one of the main roads that kind of gets into that area. And those were perfect roads to park the truck on, to leave there as kind of a home base as you're delivering flyers door to door, but also to focus on homes on those kind of main streets to volunteer a free lawn mowing for. Because as you do that, and you get people that maybe, and I'm not talking about like having to go out and do like a 5-foot tall lawn or whatever the case may be. You could do that if you wanted to, but even just lawns that just maybe haven't been cut in a week or two in the summer, they're not growing a lot, but you just look to spruce them up. Maybe they need some edging done. Maybe their sidewalks are overgrown. I would just knock on the doors, talk to the homeowners, establish that kind of trust, and say, hey, I just started a lawn care business and looking if I can mow your lawn for free. Just would rather get out there, get some work done, have my truck and trailer, and have some kind of, work that can be visible to the community of kind of the quality of the work I would do. And people would accept it. I make, clear that it's just a one-time thing that I'm going to do. And the amount of times that I would do this and have neighbors across the street that would come home, see me working, see the truck and trailer, that branding visible so they know what I'm all about, see me working on that lawn, come across, ask me for a quote on their property. I would walk across, and then there, just landed a new client, and now I'm in that neighborhood each week mowing that lawn, and all it cost me was doing one mow across the street for a lawn that kind of was a little scruffy looking, and doing that and kind of establish that. And I would do that all the time, and just do like a one volunteer mowing for somebody off of a main road or something like that, just to be visible, just to show. You could also do signs and do a free mow in exchange for having your sign on somebody's lawn for a week or so, something like that. Just kind of to establish that branding again and get that across. And last but not least, the other thing that I would do along that line as well, and having the truck kind of work for you, that branding work for you, even when you're not working, when you have that more time than you have work available, is on those busy weekends. Head out to your local Home Depot garden center and park your truck in the parking lot on the garden center side. There's all the do-it-yourselfers, all the homeowners going out with big ambitions to do some gardening, do some planting. They're going to see your truck and trailer, have some business cards along the edge of your window that people can take. Maybe some magnetic business cards. I've used those as well and stuck them on the trailer that people could pull off. You would land work from that as well. I've had customers that I landed as well from that would approach me in the parking lot, would see the truck and trailer, would pull a business card off and call me. Sometimes it would be something that they would buy, a plant, maybe some cedars or things like that, that they would go to start to do themselves, and see that it was just over their capabilities of being able to do, or they didn't have the tools to do it, or whatever the case may be. And then they would call me, and because they saw me there fresh that day, that trailer there, that branding there, website visibility, visible, all that sort of stuff, business cards ready to go, and it would land me work there as well. So there's just a few ideas of things that I would do to hit the ground running here in the summer. Even though the season kind of slows down in the summer, there's still plenty of work available if you're willing to do it, and lots of ways if you kind of embrace those kind of guerrilla marketing techniques to get out there and not sit around and wait for customers to come to you, but go out there and find those customers yourself. So let me know in the comments below if you have any tips for people starting out their lawn care businesses in the summer on ways that they can attract new clients when they're first starting out. So that's it for this one, guys. We'll catch you in the next one.